Welcome back to Holly's cottage on the front porch. We're just sitting here enjoying the woods and the wilderness. And
occasionally I'm glancing down. Yeah, we got a lot of bees. I haven't been able to mow. It's been so wet. So there's a lot of...
Bees are good.
They are.
I'm glad that bees are here.
Yeah. So, all right, go for the question.
So today's question is, do you think someone can be a writer if they don't feel emotions strongly? This is a very interesting question.
Yeah, and she just said it to me, so I'm sort of mulling as we film.
Okay. But well, I have a tendency, I try very hard not to be very emotional, and I tend to be more inward with my emotions. If you catch me crying, it's really like I try not to do that. Interestingly enough, however, I have no problem crying in public when it's for a fictional character. And I have always been that way. I watched Endgame. I cried. I have always been that way. I'm very, very so I don't think for me, it's not that I don't feel emotions strongly. I don't show emotions strongly. Right. I try to contain my emotions. That's just who I am. But I do think that it is the writer's job to then take those emotions and put them on the paper. Now, my ex-husband on occasion did find me in my office crying, and he'd be like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "Oh, what I'm writing, it's so sad, it's sad." But to me, that's a good thing because I'm feeling it, so I can channel it and get it onto the page.
Right, and we just talked in the last video, the one before, about the fact that I started out writing so much romantic comedy. I do find myself totally amusing. Like, I just laughed my hiney off most days, and it was nothing. The family was pretty accustomed to hearing me in my office all by myself, laughing out loud, because I like my humor. I get my humor. I totally understand my humor. Mm-hmm. And now that I've morphed into some more emotional books, I will tell you the opening scene of Hold Her Heart. They're reoccurring characters from Carry Her Heart. She's given a daughter away, and the hero who broke me up at the end of Carry Her Heart has shown up at a front door. And I know how this book is going to go, and this is one of the books I went in knowing where the book was going to go. And he's about to knock on it, and he's thinking to himself, if he knocks on this door, he doesn't know if Pip, his wife, will ever forgive him. And then he thinks, as his hand's getting ready to knock, that he can live the rest of his life without her forgiveness. He can't live and I'm tearing up, the rest of his life without her. Every time I read that, I tear up and I get all choked up. Mm-hmm. And I know it has a happy ending. They all have happy endings. But it is one of those ones that just strikes me at some level that I tear up every time.
And again, and that's the whole thing. And a lot of my reviews, a lot of readers say they laughed and they cried in my books. And I'm like, well, fabulous. Because that's what life is. Life is laughter and tears. It's both. It's not just one or the other. And that's what we're trying to capture. So I would say also the answer to this question depends on what you want to write. What we write is generally very emotional stuff, and that's what the readers want out of it.
Right. But I think that any book, if you read a book that had no emotions in it whatsoever,
unless it's a nonfiction book, then yeah.
But even then, I would want to feel like I'm reading. We were just talking about books we're reading. I'm reading one about potters. And I can sense, as I read it, the enthusiasm the author, and her first name is Barry, and I can't think of her last name, feels for the subject matter. I can feel that she loves it. I can feel that she's as engaged as I am with the subject. So even then, I think emotion, even in very dry... Because I'm going to confess, I bet most of you are not sitting down to read a book on potters and face jugs. But I can feel her connection to it. Mm-hmm. And for me as a reader, it makes the story. It makes the even nonfiction work.
So we're kind of leaning towards no.
I think it would be hard to do that. I think it would be very hard.
Yeah. Not impossible.
No, I think it would be harder.
Not impossible, but much harder. Yeah.
So there's our answer.
We actually answered a question.
Yeah.
Woo!
And I don't think we went on too many tangents. Good job.
We'll
We
see
have
you
our
next
moments.
time. We do. We'll see you next time.